What up, y'all? Appreciate you showing up, hanging out. This is my dumb ass. Like and subscribe. So, I just heard that the Spider-Man 2 release date was leaked. And it seems that Sony hasn't learned their lesson. If you notice historically, whenever Sony releases a game, it's usually barren wasteland. Nothing close to anything that is important is launched near that game, which gives that game, that Sony exclusive, time to breathe and time to succeed, right? The whole no competition kind of that trend is prolific throughout the whole. It's part of Sony's DNA. They don't want competition in console sales. They don't want competition in game sales. So they release their games where nobody else is releasing. Except Starfield, September. Spider-Man 2, September. Probably later September, but still September nonetheless. So let's say it's separated by 2-3 weeks. Is that enough time to give Spider-Man? I mean, Spider-Man will sell good. It's not, I'm not saying it's not going to sell good, but Starfield is gonna be a beast among. Starfield will be the next Skyrim. Go look at what Skyrim did. Sales-wise, people are still playing Skyrim. And it's not because it's a better game than the first Spider-Man or anything like that. It's the PC. It's the mods. So I'm going to say this. Starfield prediction. Starfield is going to sell better than Spider-Man 2. Prediction. Boosh. Why? Because I just said it. PC. The mods. That's why these PC players buy these games. Because the mods. Spider-Man 2 is only PlayStation 5. So the maximum amount of games that they could possibly sell is 30 million, whatever they're at. And they're not going to sell that. They're going to sell a percentage, a very small percentage. Let's say 10%. They'll sell 3 million first month. If they're lucky, they'll sell 3 million. Granted, now that's just given the benefit of the doubt that the game is actually good and there's nothing wrong with it. Now, Insomniac makes good games. They're not infallible. So, you know. But that's going to be interesting. Starfield releases, boom, on 9/6 to tree, and then Spider-Man's later. They say in the fall, so I would say probably the first day of fall, September 21st. I don't know what date it is, but yeah, they'll sell. They'll sell a couple, but overall, like throughout the life of the game, Starfield's going to way outsell it, guaranteed. So the moral of the story is that Sony has not learned their lesson. They continue to release games with competition, proving that their games ain't all that. It's like, oh yeah, we're gonna release something. There's nothing else. It's barren. It's a desert. And you're like, yeah, we sold a lot because there's nothing else to buy. When you're the only dude selling water in the desert, guess what? You got a monopoly on that right there. So Sony usually has a monopoly on their game releases. You know, that little window of monopoly. Not totally, but you know what I mean? Like, for instance, when Horizon Zero Dawn launched, so did, in close proximity, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Horizon got stomped. Eventually it sold okay, good, whatever. But it got stomped out right then and there. And Sony themselves admitted, oh, the first bunch of sales happening within the first couple weeks. So anyway, that's not true, but whatever. If your game is long enough and good enough, people will buy it for a long time. Anyway, again, it happened again with Horizon Forbidden West. I mean, maybe it's that game. I don't think so. But a different game, a totally different game that probably wasn't even as good as Breath of the Wild. Well, probably is better, but it's a different type of game. So this proves another thing, that it's not just about, Sony's game. It's not just about Sony launching with no competition at the, their games in a window where there's no other games to buy. It seems that whenever they launch anything and there's something else worth buying, they lose. because Elden Ring and Breath of the Wild two totally different games. They're not even close, and yet and still, they both trounced on Sony's exclusives. So now they're gonna try to look with Spider-Man. They say, I mean, Spider-Man's gotta sell, right? It's gotta be, and it will. It'll sell better than Horizon, probably. I would assume that, but I think they're running Spider-Man a little ragged. I think they're just running a little dry, because how much more can you do with that formula? Open world. Is it gonna be the same map? Is it gonna be a bigger map? Are you gonna go to Yonkers or something? Are you gonna go to Mount Vernon? Let's go. You gonna go to Central Ave? Huh? I mean, there's no tall buildings out there, but what are you gonna do? Are you gonna, go? Is it gonna go to like Singapore or something? Please, the Chinese. So we'll see. I mean, thanks to Tony Todd for leaking the info. Thank you, Sandman. We appreciate it. And I'm sorry, I said Sandman, Candyman. Excuse me. I take my nerd card back, but I corrected it. Anyway, so he's the voice of Venom, and he spilled the beans, and so probably means it's true. So I know many of you will expect Spider-Man to sell well, and so do I, but within, like I said, my whole theory is that when Sony releases a game in close proximity to something else that is worth buying, they got trouble. And this time, Starfield is one of the most anticipated games in years. As long as Skyrim has been out, in years, a decade maybe. And it's a new IP from the people who made Skyrim. There's so much into this. I mean, just for the systems alone, I'm hyped. I'm like, I don't even care about the story really. I just want to build some ships. I want to build some bases. I want to explore. I want to find some planets. I want to do all that stuff. That's like a forever game for real. You thought No Man's Sky was this game is gonna be a forever game. I'm gonna have a fleet of ships. I wonder how many ships you can have. That's a good question. Can I have more than one ship? That would be cool. But if I can't, then that'd be a problem. It would be cool if I could have. Well, we'll see. Anyway, let me know in the comments below. Do you think Sony is making a mistake by releasing Spider-Man in close proximity to the behemoth that is Starfield, the most anticipated game this year, outside of Tears of the Kingdom? But that's just a Nintendo fanboy type of thing. I mean, yeah. Which is valid. I'm not saying this. I'm not trying to diminish it or anything. But overall, I think Starfield has a larger, wider audience or legs. Let's just say legs. I think Starfield, if it's going to be like Skyrim as far as how it performs and how long it performs with the mods and stuff. I mean, dude, imagine Starfield, right? And they start doing mods. They could do any kind of mod, like, oh, let's do some Star Wars mods. I mean, granted, if Disney allows it. Star Wars mods. I'm gonna be flying around in the Razor Crest or whatever his new ship is called, the Soupy Doopy. I don't even know what his new. That's a shame. I gotta find out what his new ship is called. It's kind of dope. Even though I don't like the Naboo class fighter, it's what it's based on, but they hooked it up. It's like a hot rod. Anyway, I just watched the last episode of Mandalorian, the latest episode last night, and it's called The Foundling. This is interesting. Anyway, let me know. Do you think Sony's making a mistake? Do you think that their games are strong enough to really be, competition for other games out there? There's been this whole narrative that, Sony makes the bangers, but when they go up against other bangers, they don't tend to do that well. And so I'm looking at the data. I'm looking at the the anecdotal evidence. I'm looking at my experiences and my memorizations. And I don't know. Seems a little sus. But yeah, let me know about that. Let me know if y'all watching The Mandalorian, because that's a dope show. I like it. Although I think Andor's still a better show, but Mandalorian's pretty second. And are y'all hyped for Starfield? I mean, it seems like Microsoft has a lot of bangers coming out this year, like Redfall, Starfield, whatever else is coming out. I'm like, shoot, that's enough, but let's go, keep coming. Anyway, I appreciate y'all, and like and subscribe. Make sure if y'all subscribe, if half of y'all was subscribed to subscribe, I can subscribe. Although I did get a couple, which I appreciate. I want to get at least over 300. That'd be cool. And I can say, yay, we got the 300, now we can get to 400, and keep going. And one day when all my hair falls out, and actually I don't know if I'm gonna go bald. It's receding, but you know, that's how it goes. Maybe we'll get to 1,000 one day. Is it the most important thing in the world? Of course not. Please, just being goofy and happy is more important than freaking a sub count on YouTube or whatever. But it'd be nice to have a couple of, $20 a week or whatever they pay, whatever I would get to buy more equipment, like I bought the microphone so it can sound better, because I was sounding like trash before. Hopefully this sounds okay, but anyway, let me know if the sound quality is good also. I'm trying to up my game a little bit, but anyway, I appreciate, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Till the wait.